Oh, shouldn't grab there.
Yeah, it just threw it off. Hello folks, in our last video we looked at the history of the mountain that moved, Turtle Mountain, which is also Canada's deadliest rock slide. We got some of the historic facts and then checked a few things outside, but today we are going to be just outside. So this is a bit of a different video. We are walking the entire Frank Slide Interpretive Trail from start to finish, giving you a real world look at the insane scale of these boulders. It is also a bit of a behind the scenes look. I've got a GoPro strapped to my hiking partner's backpack today, so you're going to see exactly how I capture some of my footage and look for angles while we navigate the debris field. Along the way, I'll be sharing some incredible lesson-known facts about what happened right here where we are standing. Let's hit the trail. Now while we are walking the trail here, you will see some numbers here, like number 1 that's coming up right here, and I think there are all in all 17 of them. We're not going to touch on every single one, but you can also get a booklet called Frank Slide Trail in the Interpretive Centre, and that gives you some extra information. So as I said, with number 1 there, that reminds us on the fateful morning of April the 29th, 1903, or 10 a.m., when 19 million tons of rocks broke away from Turtle Mountain. Based on the markings on some of these rocks, with the lines in it, they can actually estimate approximately where exactly from the Turtle Mountain, how high up or low this specific rock came from. If you have a close look at these boulders that fell down off the mountain, they have some small marine fossils embedded into them, because apparently 300 million years ago this used to be a shallow sea with a much warmer climate than it is today. Standing at this point, I think that gives you a good overview of the Turtle Mountain in the back, and also of the massive scale of this rock slide. That mountain that moved and the rock that fell off, the entire east side of the mountain collapsed, and how far that debris really traveled.
Thanks.
You may also wonder why or how did this rock travel that far? Well, there are quite a few theories and speculations, and nothing really definite how this was possible. Now coming up on marker number 9, that leads us to the question, was this all a coincidence, or was there any connection with that Turtle Mountain collapsing? Now, there was some coal mining going on near the base of Turtle Mountain in 1903 as well. I think it started in 1900 actually, to produce coal. However, the first question of course was, did that cause the slide? But most likely not. It may contributed somewhat, but when the rock finally let go and came down, the mine inside the mountain actually stayed intact. There were some warning signs prior because some timbers were a bit cracky, so that gave a little bit of an indication about 6-7 months prior of the slide that the mountain is a bit unstable. Nobody really was able to foresee at that point in time what's gonna happen next. This section of the trail where we're walking by right now is actually the bed of the Frank and I think it was called Grassy Mountain Railway. Now, after the disaster, a new railway line had to be built, but the old one came through approximately probably where I'm standing right now. These days, the mountain is still somewhat unstable and there's a lot of modern equipment up on the mountain where they can measure when something moves, and if you want to know more about that, check out the prior video with Turtle Mountain where I played around with a little bit of the equipment in there to give you a little bit of an idea of what is there. But it is suspected that the east side, the east peak, one of these days perhaps comes loose as well.
We're going to go back up to the Frank Slide, so that's 500 meters. I should actually say to the Frank Slide Interpretive Centre. Frank Slide is behind me.
As you can see, and judging by the landscape and the vegetation around, we are outside the actual debris field from the Turtle Mountain slide and are on the home stretch of the trail. It's about another 500 meters, but pretty steep uphill. That's probably the most strenuous part to get back through this section up to the parking lot.
Tripping hazards ahead, watch your steps. Tons of route. Looks like it goes all the way up there. Ha!
You can go ahead.
Let's wander on. Good thing it's not warmer. There we go, quite steep. That hill, steeper than it looks.
As we make our way uphill here, and again, on the camera it probably doesn't look quite as steep, but if you look to the left, you can actually see how steep that hill really is, or perhaps I should refer to it as a mountain, but we are slowly getting there. Thankfully there is some shade, and we slowly make our way up. Now, as you can imagine, with this rock disaster as well, that severed the link to get through the valley towards the Crowsnest Pass in British Columbia. They had to rebuild the railway and the road. Now, the railway took them a little less than 3 months, but apparently to rebuild the road through this rocky debris took them almost 3 years.
Use this roof as a step.
We are just about coming full circle here to the top of this trail, and as I mentioned earlier, the mountain that moves will move again. They expect or suspect it will be much less severe, and the towns and the roads should be safe as everything has been built a bit further away. But as I said, that mountain will move again. It's still very unstable.
Well, I think we are just about on the top here.
At this point, if you're still with me and watching this video, here we are up in the parking lot. I want to say thank you very much appreciated, and perhaps check back in with me again next week to see what my next adventure is.
Whew, we're back. Thanks. That hill has it in it.